Hello everyone, today, I am recording this message to share with us all the profound essence of natural life that lies within. We have forgotten the nature that forms the core of our being. This nature is the original element, the source of all things. It existed before the universe, before the stars, the sun, black holes, specks of dust, stars, even before darkness and light. This primordial essence is pure, unconditioned, and untouched by any fabrication. It simply is, pristine and unaltered, a fundamental essence we can call the original element. This is the essence of life within us. In the beginning, it was like this. Then came an explosion, a vast expansion of energy radiating outward. From that point, particles of matter began to form, small fragments that eventually coalesced into stars, the sun, galaxies, and the universe as we know it, with countless stars both great and small. Our essence of life has dwelled within matter since that very first moment. It found its vessel in the form of single-celled organisms, then evolved into two-celled and multi-celled forms. Through connection and interaction, these cells gradually shaped themselves into complex forms, eventually leading to the beings we are today. Each essence of life struggles to sustain its physical form, to consume, to survive, and to learn from all things. This life essence inhabits these material forms, using them as tools, giving rise to awareness, perception, emotions, and meaning. Over time, we have come to identify ourselves with these bodies, believing that we are these physical forms, even though we are not. The voice speaking now is merely a tool, an expression of the life essence. The mental images we conceive are also expressions of this essence. Emotions, pleasure, displeasure, neutrality, and all other feelings constantly arising are tools of the life essence designed for use in this world, for learning. Even the awareness we are experiencing is a tool of the life essence, meant for learning on this earthly plane. The life essence created these tools, inhabiting this body to learn something. Do you know what it seeks to learn? We are not here to learn about external things. These tools, our body, this voice, mental images, emotions, and meaningful awareness are all instruments. They exist to help us learn about ourselves, to discover what we truly are. It could be said that the life essence uses these forms to learn about itself. This life essence is pure, crystal clear, and profoundly pristine. It is the original element, one of unparalleled clarity and purity. It is one with all things in the universe. This is what we truly are, this pure, original essence. Yet, this essence does not know. It does not understand all things. It does not know what it is because it has no form. Our life essence has no shape. It is only clarity, only purity. It does not come or go, does not arise or cease. It has never been born, and it will never die. So, what is it that arises? The voice you hear is an expression. Whenever the life essence clings to these expressions, this voice or any other phenomenon, that is when we arise. The moment we attach to this voice, we create the sense of self. This is the birth of our existence as I. If we believe that this voice is truly our voice, that we are genuinely speaking or genuinely thinking, and we follow the flow of this voice or these mental images, we become convinced that we are truly imagining. If we go along with emotions, believing that happiness or satisfaction is truly us, or that suffering and dissatisfaction are truly ours, we become entangled in these feelings. Even the act of perceiving, of hearing the voice, if we believe that this perception is us knowing, this is when the essence of life attaches, clings, and holds onto the notion of self. In reality, there is no self at all. This act of perceiving happens on its own. Let us observe within ourselves. Notice how it perceives on its own, how it sees, smells, tastes, and senses on its own. This voice arises and resonates by itself. Mental images and emotions arise, are shaped, and dissolve on their own. All thoughts, feelings, and perceptions manifest and dissolve naturally. Why, then, do we cling to them as if they are us? It is due to ignorance. Ignorance is a natural state of the life essence, which inherently seeks to learn. Consider when we were first born. We, too, did not know what we were. Imagine a newborn child opening their eyes for the first time. They have no idea what anything is. There is only awareness, the eyes open, and seeing happens. It is pure perception, without stories or meanings, just awareness in its simplest form. The child hears sounds but does not know their purpose. It only knows that it is aware, without knowing why. There is no meaning attached. Because of this, the life essence must learn. When we are born, our parents guide us, teaching us to recognize and understand. We start to remember images, sounds, smells, tastes, and sensations. We begin to record and process them, gradually making sense of the world. We start to identify patterns and assign meaning, thinking, I love this person, they love me because they feed me. We assign more meanings, they care for me, so they are mine. Over time, we hear voices repeatedly and learn to speak. We begin to call them father and mother. We start naming everything, giving meaning to all things. This is my body, these are my arms and legs. From this process of learning and assigning meaning, the sense of self emerges, and the essence of life becomes enmeshed with it. When we were first born, there was only the essence of life inhabiting this vessel, not knowing what this vessel was or even what it meant. It simply knew that it was alive at that moment. When we were delivered into the world, we opened our eyes and recognized only that we were alive, but it was a life without language, a life of pure awareness. There was only knowing, an empty, unadorned knowing, without form or substance. That was all there was. The essence of life then began to learn. It started recording, processing, and gradually holding on. From having no shape or form, we, as life essence, are inherently shapeless. There is nothing, only clarity and purity, untouched and pristine. Yet, we began to learn. Our parents taught us to think, to remember, to believe that we are human, their child. We started believing that everything is real, that it truly exists. This is our body, we must eat to survive, we must strive to live. As we grew, we went to school, where we were taught to think, to memorize, to recite, and to navigate life. Everyone in the world taught us to pursue material things on this earth, to find food and sustenance. We were taught to struggle, to compete, to chase after things, and to accumulate. This striving often led to conflict, exploitation, and harm as we sought to fulfill our needs. When the essence of life inhabits the vessel of aquatic animals, terrestrial creatures, birds, or even humans, it is always driven by the need to consume. It comes into these forms, these vessels, to seek sustenance and survive. This cycle of life, regardless of the vessel, is deeply tied to the need to feed, to persist, and to endure. In the earliest ages, we were born as small creatures, single-celled organisms, then two-celled, and three-celled beings. From the very beginning, our bodies were consumed by others, just as we consumed them. They ate us, and we ate them. This cycle of anger, hatred, resentment, and vengeance began, intertwining our life essence with theirs. When our bodies died, whether from being consumed or due to other causes, our life essence, or consciousness, drifted to find a new body. Upon finding one, we clung to it, identifying with it again, whether as aquatic animals, land creatures, or birds. What we became depended on many factors, but rarely did we become human. Becoming human is incredibly difficult and rare. Regardless of the form we took, we became attached to these vessels, forgetting ourselves in the process. For instance, when we were born as aquatic creatures, our existence revolved around eating, sleeping, waking, and eating again. That was all: eat, sleep, wake, reproduce, and eventually die. After death, our essence would leave that body to find a new one, and the cycle would begin again. Eat, sleep, wake, consume all that was before us, even each other. Others consumed us, and we consumed them in turn. This gave rise to a magnetic force within our life essence, a pure and pristine energy. Over time, this energy created expressions like sound, images, emotions, awareness, and meaning to communicate within these forms. Yet, through this cycle, pleasure, displeasure, anger, hatred, resentment, and harm arose. These forces have perpetuated suffering and conflict, shaping the way we interact even to this day. What are we struggling for? We believe that we truly exist, that this body is ours. We believe this land, this water, these trees, this body, our parents, relatives, possessions, house, car, and money are all ours. We even created a piece of paper and called it money, then struggled desperately to obtain it, sometimes to the point of killing one another. But do you realize that none of this truly belongs to us? We have forgotten this fundamental truth. I created this recording with the purpose of helping everyone learn the essence of life, to recognize the mind as the original element, the source of life itself. We are that empty, clear, and profoundly pure essence. This is what we truly are. I have no doubts about this. To realize this essence is to awaken inwardly, observing the phenomena that arise within. Sounds are manifestations, mental images are manifestations, emotions that appear are manifestations, and even the act of perceiving is a manifestation. All of these are tools of the life essence, meant to be used in this world to learn about everything, including its own nature. However, as we use these tools, we end up relying on them continuously without ever turning back to learn about ourselves. This is the problem. Everyone teaches us to seek sustenance, to struggle, compete, exploit, and harm one another in order to survive. We eat, sleep, wake, and then struggle again for food. Conflict, arguments, hatred, and even killing arise all to eat and then sleep. We wake up only to eat and sleep again. That's all. We were not born to remain trapped in this cycle, eating, then sleeping, waking to eat again, and sleeping once more. Growing old, falling ill, and dying. We were not born to age, to suffer, or to die, only to be reborn again with a new vessel, caught in the same delusion, clinging again, learning again, growing old, suffering, and dying once more. Then we are reborn again, inhabiting a new vessel, only to fall into the same patterns. Perhaps as a centipede, a worm, an earthworm, a duck, a chicken, a pig, a tiger, a cat, a monkey, a deer, an aquatic creature, a land animal, or a bird. We have been all of these. Every time we are born, we start learning again, struggling for sustenance, only to die and begin the cycle anew. A new vessel, new learning, new eating, sleeping, waking, eating, and sleeping again. That's all it is, endless repetition. Sometimes we are consumed, sometimes we consume others. Back and forth it goes. Anger, hatred, resentment, and vengeance arise, and we remain trapped in this delusion. Do you realize that we are the life essence, empty, clear, and pure? This is the key point. Do you understand that this body is only a temporary vessel? It will die soon enough, it does not last long. It is as simple as that. It is not complicated. We can recognize that the voice speaking now has no true self. It is merely a manifestation, a ripple within the life essence, vibrating within the emptiness and clarity of our inner life essence. We simply observe inwardly. Try following my voice. Focus your awareness on my voice. You'll notice that you hear my voice resonating in the center of your chest. It's as if the sound is present there, within that emptiness, clear and still. Do you realize that you don't need to intentionally know or consciously listen? Notice how it hears by itself, how it perceives on its own. The life essence perceives this voice naturally. How does it perceive? Look inward and observe. Explore the sound. Does this sound have a shape? Does it have a form? It's like a ripple in the clear, empty stillness, isn't it? At the moment of knowing the sound, as you are aware of it, notice that this awareness also has no shape. It knows by itself, through the essence of the life force, clear and empty. An analogy: imagine our life essence as a drop of clear water. A single, clear droplet taken from the vast ocean. Picture this clear droplet floating before you, round, translucent, and pure. This droplet represents the life essence. Within the droplet, there is a substance, isn't there? The substance of this clear water contains surface tension, doesn't it? When the wind touches it, or when something contacts the surface of the droplet, it perceives ping, and ripples spread outward across its surface, radiating all around it. Those ripples, that movement, carry meaning. This is how it works. Our mind is just like this. This clear droplet of water, this life essence, now resides within the vessel of a body, within the form of a creature. One day, if we turn inward against the stream, we will come to know the life essence within. We will observe the manifestation sounds, images, emotions, and awareness and recognize that these are just natural processes. They operate on their own, none of them truly belong to us. They are merely ripples arising and subsiding on their own. If we simply awaken and observe within, we will see these manifestations for what they are, not us. They arise, speak, think, imagine, feel, and know on their own. They ripple, speak, and dissolve on their own. None of it belongs to anyone. By observing closely, we can see that these thoughts arise and dissolve on their own, emotions appear and fade away on their own. So why do we cling to them? This realization will arise: we suffer because we foolishly cling to them. We sink into repetitive thoughts and become trapped, sometimes to the point of mental exhaustion. But if we see that they think and act on their own and truly understand that they are not us, these thoughts lose all their weight. The inner voice, the thinking, becomes insignificant. It turns into something transient, arising and vanishing without our involvement, because we no longer empower it or attach ourselves to it. Do you understand? It is like caring for a cat. The cat lives its own life, doesn't it? It ages, it gets sick, and eventually, it dies. None of this truly concerns us. But when we cling to the idea that it is our cat, we suffer when it grows old. We feel pain when it falls ill, and we grieve when it dies. We wish for it not to age, not to get sick, not to die. Wake up. Understand this: everything is external and not truly us. When we attach ourselves to something, we will suffer with it. If we cling to the idea that this is our car, we will suffer over that car. If we believe that this is our house, we will suffer over that house. These things are only temporary. We borrow them for a short while, but they do not last. Understand that the car belongs to no one, it is just an object of this world. The same goes for the soil beneath our feet. The earth does not belong to anyone, it is simply part of this world. The house we live in, once purchased, is something we use, but we should not cling to the idea that it truly belongs to anyone. It is simply part of this world. Can you understand this? The same applies to this body. This body is like a temporary vessel that we, as the life essence, inhabit for a short time. This vessel does not last long. This body comes from the elements of the earth and will one day dissolve back into it. Do you see? Just like a tree that grows from the ground, no matter how tall or magnificent it becomes, it will eventually age, dry up, and die, returning to the earth from which it came. Everything is like this. Nothing truly belongs to anyone. Even the voice speaking now is not anyone's possession. If we observe carefully, we can see that this voice ripples up from within the life essence. It arises and we express it outwardly through speech. By observing within, we can see that this inner voice, if we do not cling to it, becomes just another natural process, something that does not belong to anyone. If we understand this, we will feel light and free. The more we listen, the more liberated and unburdened we become. Share this recording I have created with everyone in the world. Let it reach every child, every elder, every woman, man, person with disabilities, every faith, every nationality, every ethnicity. Let them all listen. I have created these recordings to reveal the essence of peace, the universal path to liberation from suffering, and the essence of life itself, so that everyone may come to know their own life essence. This life essence has always been with us, yet we fail to recognize it. Why has no one in this world taught us about it? I want this recording to be included in every school curriculum worldwide. Let it be played daily, 1 hour each day, for every student in every class. Let every child in every school, regardless of religion, nationality, or ethnicity, listen to it. If we do this, we will all be freed from suffering. None of us will suffer again, and we will no longer be bound to the cycle of rebirth. The mind, as the life essence, existed before all things. Imagine removing the body. What remains is the mind, the life essence, and its manifestations. Now, remove these manifestations as well. Remove the sound, so there is no speech. Remove the body, with your eyes closed, the body disappears. Remove mental images, there are no more pictures. Remove all emotions, no feelings remain. Finally, remove awareness itself, there is no one left to know anything. Erase all memories completely. What remains? Only the mind, the life essence, is profoundly pure and clear. In this state, there is nothing, no fabrication of any kind. It is pure clarity, the very substance of purity. It is the original element, clear, untainted, and profoundly pristine. This is what we truly are. When we turn inward, against the stream, and cease clinging to any manifestation, the life essence is freed from what it has attached itself to. Currently, our life essence clings to these manifestations, attaching itself to the body. We mistake these things for us or ours, though they are merely temporary tools. The voice speaking now is only a tool, used to communicate. It is not anyone's possession. It is intangible and without self. Can you see this? It's simple. Think of it like being in a dream. In a dream, we forget that nothing in that world truly belongs to us. Nothing in the dream has a real self or substance. Do you understand this? First, grasp that nothing in the dream world is real. A dream is a natural phenomenon. For this pure nature to learn everything and come to know itself, it must create certain manifestations. Do we realize that from the moment we wake until the moment we sleep, we are in a constant state of suffering? We struggle, compete, and strive all day long, working tirelessly for a single plate of food, for scraps of paper we call money. We fight, harm, and even destroy one another, driven by anger, greed, and self-interest. All this struggle, all this competition for what? For a single plate of food. Do we realize that this body needs only one plate of food to sustain itself? Just one meal, with enough nourishment for the body to function. This body does not need the paper we call money. Yet we are consumed by the pursuit of it, endlessly chasing what we do not truly understand. We are trapped in a cycle, enslaved by money, by our desires, by the illusions of this world. It is as if we are imprisoned, asleep within this dream. Wake up! Wake up! Can you see it? All of this is just a dream. Our true essence is pure and untainted, a life force that transcends this illusion. Yet in this dream world, everything feels so real. The pain feels real, the experiences seem real, and the emotions consume us entirely. Every thought, every feeling, everything appears to define us. But if it were truly us, would it be this fleeting, this impermanent? Wake up and recognize the truth. If this body were truly real, it wouldn't age. Why does it age? When we were children, we didn't look like this. Now it's wrinkled, dry, with gray hair. The body is growing weaker, plagued by countless ailments. When we were young, it wasn't like this. Now it feels as though every illness in the world has descended upon us: high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, high fat levels, constant fatigue. The body isn't strong anymore. It doesn't have the vitality it once did. And you know, before long, this body will die. Here's the question: when this body breaks apart, stops functioning, and dies, where is the self we've always identified with? When the body is gone, where do we go? The truth is, we don't know. Do you know why we were born? Were we born just to eat, to live this way? Have you ever stopped to observe deeply inside yourself? There's often a question stirring within: why were we born? Have you ever felt this? Why are we here? And yet, there's only unknowing. We don't know why we were born, why we are what we are, or what we truly want from this existence. Life itself, the essence of life, has no form. Its only purpose is to learn and realize its own nature, that's all. This is the core of it. Imagine that we are this formless essence of life, something pure, expansive, and intertwined with the universe. Then, something collides with it, bam, and suddenly, there's perception. But we don't truly understand it. So, we take on a body to experience and learn. Once we inhabit a body, we begin to learn through it. Human society teaches us to think, remember, and strive for survival. If we are born as aquatic creatures, we are taught to think, remember, kill, and seek sustenance. If born as land animals, the same cycle repeats: think, remember, kill, and survive. Even as birds, the lessons remain: think, remember, kill, survive. Each time we are born, we don't know anything. Isn't that so? We emerge into life with no knowledge. Those who came before us, our parents, relatives, elders, teach us everything. If we're born into a community of thieves, we wouldn't even know whether what we've learned is good or bad, right or wrong. We wouldn't know at all. Do you see? Life is shaped by what it encounters, but its true essence, beyond the body in the teachings of the world, remains unchanged. It's the essence seeking to know itself, free from the cycles of form and unknowing. Imagine when we were children we had no idea how we ended up in this body. We didn't know anything. There was only unknowing. And what do we want to know? We don't even know that. If this body dies, where do we go? We don't know that either. It's all just unknowing. We don't even know what it is that has come to reside in this body. Let me tell you again, all of this is a dream. We are dreaming. Yet we talk about it as if it's real, don't we? As if this is the truth. But is it? We'll find out soon enough. Let me offer you a metaphor to help you understand. I'm simply asking, why were we born? Have you ever had this deep question arise within? The essence of life is searching for answers. Who am I? What is everything? Why am I here? This essence, without form, contains nothing. It is pure emptiness, clear and untainted. It is the fundamental element that created the entire universe. This voice you hear now is just a tool. I use this voice as a tool. Imagination, emotions, awareness, these are tools to understand this world. Even this body is just a tool for navigating this world. But deep within, the essence of life seeks to understand, why was I born? That is the question it seeks to answer. When we are first born, we don't know anything. Then, we are taught to survive and make a living. If we are born into a community of thieves, we are taught to steal, to kill, to destroy, and to take what belongs to others. We don't know whether this is good or bad, right or wrong. We only know survival. We might even become thieves ourselves because we don't know what being a thief means. We simply follow the instinct to survive. If we are born into a society of predatory animals, we are taught to hunt and eat others. We may attack and consume anything that comes near, sometimes not even for survival, but out of habit or play. We bite, kill, and waste, only to seek more. We don't know whether this is good or bad. And yet, the animals we consume are no different from us. Sometimes, they eat us in turn. They don't know why they were born either. They just know they must eat. When they encounter us, they attack, bite, and tear us apart. We suffer, we feel pain, anger, hatred, vengeance. We consume them, they consume us. It's all connected. Life's essence draws us together, only for us to destroy one another. Perhaps this time, we consume them. Next time, they are born to consume us. The cycle continues, eating, destroying, switching roles. One moment, we're allies. The next, we're enemies. We love, hate, fight, and forgive. This endless cycle of birth and destruction, are we born for just this? This is how every sentient being in society, living in this vessel, teaches one another. We teach each other how to survive, how to earn a living. But why is there no one in this world who teaches like this? If I were a teacher, I would teach my students this every day, or play a recording for them to hear. Children, do you know that we are pure, empty, and transparent life essence? This body we inhabit is temporary, it will not last long. We are the essence of life, without form, merely residing in this body to learn about the nature of life itself. Right now, your parents, grandparents, and teachers are teaching you. Understand this: the voice you hear is just a tool for communication. It is a tool for use in this world, it does not belong to anyone. Every thought you have is not truly yours. It is merely a tool. Do not cling to it. Do not let yourself get carried away by thoughts or sounds. Do you understand? Use these tools only to transcend them. Use this voice, these mental images, and emotions, but do not flow along with them. Do not let yourself get carried away by the sounds, images, or feelings. Even the awareness of hearing, smelling, tasting, or touching it is not truly you who knows. These are simply tools of our life essence. They may seem like ours, but in truth, they are not. When we teach children in this way, they begin to observe closely. Notice that hearing happens by itself, doesn't it? Smelling happens by itself. Tasting is perceived on its own. Thoughts arise and fade on their own. Emotions of happiness come and go, as do feelings of dissatisfaction. Just observe. None of it is us. See it clearly. When children hear this every day, how do you think they will respond? They will start to awaken from within, observing from within. They will notice that the voice speaks by itself. It is not something tangible. Sounds cannot be grasped. Mental images cannot be touched. Emotions cannot be held. They simply operate on their own. Even awareness itself happens on its own, it is intangible. When children awaken to this truth, when they observe it clearly, there will be a moment of realization and inner awakening. They will understand deeply. Their life essence will emerge from all attachments. The understanding will bring lightness, clarity, and freedom. Teach this every day, and children will observe every day. Even all of us on this earth are the same children, elders, people with disabilities, women, men, people of every gender, age, caste, status, belief, and religion. Everyone on this planet, listen to this recording and spread this understanding. Share it so everyone in the world can hear it. When we begin to observe, we will see that none of it is truly us. Even this body, it is a body because we think it is. If we stop assigning value or meaning, saying this is an arm or a leg, then it is no longer an arm or a leg. That tree is not inherently a mango tree. Look closely, it is not a coconut tree either. Observe carefully. We simply see and know it as it is. Yet, this voice in our minds insists, this is a coconut tree, this is a lime tree, this is tamarind, and this is mango. The voice speaks, but the object itself does not. This body does not say it is a left arm, a left hand, or a right hand. Observe closely. It does not speak at all. It is simply something that appears, something known. But it is this voice that assigns meaning, value, and possession, declaring, this is my left arm, my left leg, my right leg, my body. It even gives names, creating the concept that, I have a name, and I have a surname. Look beyond the voice. See what is there without the layers of meaning we project upon it. The truth is silent, simple, and free from labels. We are the essence of life, empty, pure, and formless. Do you understand? These things are merely tools we use to create, learn, and temporarily inhabit. This body is something that is born only to decay and perish, it will not last long. If we teach children this every day, it will only take a short time, just a few days. Let me tell you, anyone who listens to my recordings every day, who listens repeatedly until my voice becomes embedded in their awareness, and who sets an intention by saying to themselves, from now on, I will listen to this recording every day. I will listen. I will understand the mind. I will understand the pure essence of life. I will awaken within. I will see sounds as natural phenomena. I will see mental images for what they are, natural manifestations. I will see emotions as natural manifestations. I will understand that this awareness is simply natural. It functions on its own. It is not me. It is not mine. I will see this clearly. I will not cling to it. I will not suffer because of these things. I will understand that nothing here is truly me. We should set such an intention for ourselves. Observe continuously. Listen to this recording every day. As we begin to understand, we will gradually see that these manifestations and conditions are not us. As we listen and observe, listen and understand, we will notice how awareness operates on its own, how thoughts arise on their own, how emotions come and go on their own. Keep observing. See it clearly, and understanding will dawn. There will be a moment of clarity, a moment of lightness and freedom. Continue observing. Understand, understand, and understand. This understanding doesn't require memorization or thought. It's simply knowing from within. Realizing that these manifestations speak for themselves, think for themselves, feel for themselves, and know for themselves. When we teach children this way, it takes only a few days for them to feel free, to understand the essence of life. Once they realize they are a pure essence of life, and everything else is merely manifestations not truly them, they will awaken to the truth. When the essence of life sees this truth that nothing is truly us, it will let go, it will release its grip on attachments. Right now, we are holding on to this voice, which is why we are so immersed in it. But this voice is not truly a voice, it is merely something that resonates within. It is not a voice, and it belongs to no one. If we observe carefully and truly see, there will be a moment of clarity, a sudden understanding. Then we will realize what we have been so deluded by. The grip will loosen, release, and lighten. There will be a profound sense of lightness, openness, and freedom. Finally, it will completely release. When it does, we will see clearly that we have been freed from all these things we perceive as us. We will see that it is not us tasting flavors, not us smelling scents. These sensations happen naturally on their own. When this is seen clearly, we will also transcend our human identity, breaking free from the concept of being a person. In that moment, a profound realization will arise, so profound that tears may fall as we awaken to the truth of what we have been deluded by: nothing is truly us. We are an essence that is empty, pure, and transparent. It is a clarity that pervades the entire universe, like the clear, open space that is right in front of us. This emptiness cannot be touched. It is as if we are this clear presence, comparable to the movement of air forming a storm that destroys all things. Yet this storm cannot destroy the pure, transparent emptiness. Even if an atomic bomb were detonated before us, it could not affect this clear, empty presence. Do you understand? This pure emptiness is the foundation for all things to exist. Everything moves because this clear, empty foundation allows it to. The entire universe moves because of this transparent emptiness that underlies everything. So, let us observe within and come to understand the essence of life, this pure, empty clarity. This body is not truly ours. It is something born only to decay and dissolve. When this body dissolves, where is the self? The essence of life, when it does not yet realize itself as a pure essence, continues to depend on perceptions and conditioned experiences. This essence of life will seek a new body, starting the learning process anew. If that body cannot lead it to realize its pure essence, the essence of life will drift on to find another body, as each body lasts only for a short while. This cycle repeats learning, dying, and starting again. If the essence still does not recognize itself, it continues to wander in search of a new body. We are not born to pursue anything in this world or to master worldly knowledge. Even if one earns 8 million doctorates, it ultimately has no value. When the body decays, if the essence of life still does not know itself, it will drift again, seeking a new form. This endless cycle of birth, survival, and death continues repeating over and over again. It is futile. We are born into the same old conditions, pursuing the same old things, entangled in the same old issues, and suffering from the same old problems. No one ever told us or taught us that we are the essence of life, empty yet profoundly pure. Deep within us is this unblemished, pure essence that we have always had, yet we remain unaware. Instead, we rely on this pure essence to chase after things that are not truly what we need. Do you understand? Even if we achieve the highest positions in this world, it is meaningless because the body is impermanent, it will die. And when it dies, the essence of life begins again, perhaps as a creature of the water, land, or sky, only to be consumed by others. No matter how powerful or knowledgeable we become, even with 80 doctorates across various fields, in the end, the body will disintegrate. The essence of life will return to being born anew, possibly as an animal to be consumed. What value does it have? Being born as a human is exceedingly rare. It is easy to be born as an animal, but to be born as a human is profoundly difficult. Now that we have the rare chance to be human, we must urgently understand this knowledge, this wisdom. Let us integrate this curriculum, this knowledge, into the education systems of the entire world so that everyone can hear it. It will transform the way we live entirely. When we awaken to the truth that nothing is truly us, that we are the essence of life, empty yet profoundly pure, we will realize that there is no suffering within this pure essence. When we come to this understanding through inner awakening, it speaks for itself, though it is not a voice. It is something intangible, a subtle ripple. Thoughts, emotions, perceptions, these are merely ripples of the essence of life, tools meant for us to engage with this world in order to learn about ourselves. In a sense, we use this body in order to leave it behind. We use sound to let go of sound, mental images to let go of mental images, emotions to let go of emotions, and perceptions to let go of perceptions. None of these are truly us. They are merely manifestations of the essence of life. If we observe closely, we will notice that it perceives, thinks, and feels on its own. Pay attention and understand. When the essence of life sees this truth, it will break free. It will no longer cling to anything. It feels as though we are being pulled out of the human condition, and when we are pulled free, we realize how pure we truly are. This purity has no form, no sound. It is an essence that is clear and profoundly pure, beyond language, because there is no sound. Imagine letting go of all sound, images, emotions, perceptions, and knowledge. What remains is pure clarity, pure purity, the original essence. This is the primordial essence, the source of all things. Everything arises from this pure, original essence, including the universe itself, which is a conditioned manifestation formed by the coming together of countless elements. All of these elements emerge from the primordial essence. We are that original, clear, pure essence, the fundamental nature from which all arises. When I truly understood this and broke free, it was as though everything lit up. It felt like pulling a high-voltage electric wire, pulling it hard until it snapped. In that moment, when the wire broke, there was a spark, an explosion in the chest. The body, thoughts, emotions, everything shattered into fragments. It felt as if the entire universe had exploded into tiny particles, leaving behind only pure clarity, seeing everything as completely empty. Even now, I see that this sound is not really a sound. There is no sense of me existing in this world anymore. What is happening is simply a natural phenomenon, a ripple of something that speaks and acts on its own. The sound is not a voice, it is merely a ripple that arises on its own, without anyone speaking, without anyone hearing. Everything exists as it is, with no need to assign meaning or value to it. Inside, it is always as it is, pure, untouched, and unchanging. There is no need to maintain or purify this essence of life, for it is already pure and pristine. There is no need to train or do anything at all. Simply observe and come to understand the essence of life itself. This is what it means for the essence of life to awaken, to see how it has become lost, relying on these phenomena. Once it understands itself, it breaks free, realizing it is the pure essence that encompasses the entire universe. In this state, we understand all things. When we reach this point, tears may flow. It feels so light, so free, without the slightest trace of suffering. It is beyond anything we could call happiness in this world. It transcends happiness, suffering, and all things. What remains is pure, boundless clarity and ultimate purity that is incomparable. It has no owner, nothing remains. When this liberation occurs, there is nothing left that could be called us. All the knowledge we had, the belief that we were human, the idea of having a family, everything we've learned and remembered, all of it collapses into fragments. Inside, nothing remains but true purity. There is no me, no one, nothing at all. Only absolute purity remains, and with it comes the understanding that there is no rebirth. It cares nothing for the world as it is. Even if this body were to die at any moment, it would be completely ready, for it sees that nothing is truly us. And this essence has never died. This essence, this pure essence, neither comes nor goes. It is one with all things. It neither arises nor ceases, neither is born nor dies. It is eternal. This essence is not dark nor light, but it is clear. When one reaches this point, it is immense, boundless, and filled with a brightness that encompasses the entire universe. This brightness is its profound understanding, an awakened knowledge of its true nature. Its very clarity contains this radiant knowing that pervades everything. There is no darkness, only this luminous clarity, knowing all, and beyond suffering. In this state, there is no body, no sound, no images, no emotions, no perceptions, nothing remains but pure essence. Tears flow, not from sadness, but from an overwhelming sense of liberation and fulfillment. There is no hunger, only a profound joy, as if one has won the ultimate prize, far greater than any worldly reward. When everyone experiences this, there will no longer be any harm, anger, hatred, or vengeance. There will be no need for conflict or competition. People will no longer fight over land or possessions. There will only be sharing, support, and harmony. Humanity will live peacefully until the body naturally decays. And when it does, there will be no rebirth, for the essence of life, having realized its truth as pure essence, will no longer create manifestations to learn or experience. Do you see? Once the essence of life begins to create manifestations, it takes on a body to learn about itself. But when the essence awakens to its true nature as pure essence, the body becomes irrelevant. It no longer clings to it and no longer suffers because of it. The body, sounds, images, emotions, and perceptions continue as they always have, but the essence now sees, with complete clarity, that none of these are self. Before awakening to the pure essence, life on this earth seemed a certain way. After awakening, everything appears the same outwardly, but inwardly, the truth is fully known. Nothing changes externally, yet everything is transformed. The difference lies in the inner realization that we are this essence. We are this pure, clear essence, and we will no longer be reborn. This will be the final existence, the last vessel we inhabit, the final tool we use. Sounds, mental images, emotions, and perceptions, these will be the last tools we rely on, for in the pure essence, none of these exist. Listen, and listen again. Keep listening until you understand. Conquer this game. Discover the essence of your true self. It is not difficult, it's simple. Listen to my recordings. For some, it may take no more than 7 days or 7 months. If one is slow, perhaps it will take longer, but for the wise, one recording or even a single day may be enough. When it happens, it is liberating, it's a complete release. Once you are free, don't mistake yourself for a god or the ruler of the universe. It's not like that. There is no self. When you reach this state, there is only lightness, clarity, and pure emptiness. There is no you, only pure essence. It is free of suffering, and from that freedom comes a desire to help others understand, to bring everyone to this same state. You will wish to tell others, do not cling to anything. Do not suffer over anything. What you gain, use it. What you lose, let it go without grief. These things exist as they are. Good moods are just as they are. Bad moods are just as they are. Positive or negative thoughts, they arise as part of their nature. Mental images, emotions, and perceptions, no matter how they manifest or transform, exist in their own way. Observing termites, watching their daily routine, traveling in lines to gather leaves, twigs, and anything they can consume, before returning to their nest. The next day, they repeat the same process, eating, gathering, and returning. At first, we might not understand how termites live. We watch, study, and learn how they work, eat, and survive. Over time, we come to know it all, until we reach the point where we feel there's no need to know more. It simply is what it is. Then, a child sees the termites and begins to ask questions. What are these creatures? We answer, they're termites. Where are they going? They're out looking for food. What do they eat? Leaves and twigs. Why do they eat? To sustain themselves and their family. As the child listens and learns, their curiosity grows. But for us, having seen it all, it's just the way of things. The child might wonder, are there termites that are the richest? Regardless of wealth or skill, whether a termite is strong or weak, rich or poor, smart or less so, they all live as they are. Termites are born, they die, and their cycle continues. They build families, gather food, and then their time comes to an end, only for new termites to begin the same cycle. No matter their state, it remains the same, born to die, living in this natural rhythm. Even if a termite were the most extraordinary, wise, or powerful, it too is born, lives, and dies. This is its nature. Whether they feel anger or peace, joy or sorrow, fullness or hunger, their lives simply unfold as they are. These movements, the sounds, the thoughts, the feelings are a part of a natural flow. They exist, arising and fading, without ownership. The body, too, ages, suffers, and perishes. It all follows its course, being what it is, without anyone truly owning it. When we observe nature and awaken within, we begin to see the natural formations of all things. We see sounds, images, emotions, and awareness, the very acts of speaking, thinking, and feeling. Each time we speak, we can see that what we are saying is simply something that exists as it is. It is not truly us speaking, and it is not even sound. It is just something, a phenomenon, with no owner. These things exist in their own way, as they are, just like the sun, which continuously emits light and heat. If you were to ask the sun about this energy, it would simply say, "This is my nature." It is the way of its existence, a part of its natural state. Do you see? The essence of life is an empty, pure element, manifesting as sound, images, emotions, awareness, meanings, and memory. These manifestations are simply part of nature, belonging to no one. They are not us or ours. They are merely phenomena. Even the physical elements of the earth, they too are objects of awareness, existing on this planet. Everything simply is as it is. One day, this earth will disintegrate, it is in its nature. Even galaxies, with all their stars and black holes, will one day collapse. The universe itself will eventually dissolve. All things are born to decay and dissolve, this is their nature. Let us observe everything as it is. The heart beats on its own. The lungs breathe as they are meant to. The liver, kidneys, intestines, arms, legs, bones, and muscles all function in their own way, born to decay eventually. Nothing truly belongs to us. Nothing is us or ours. There is no need to suffer over anything. There is no need to harm, destroy, or exploit one another, because all things exist as they are. When we observe within, awakening and understanding this knowledge, we can access the empty, clear, and pure essence of life. To reach this purity and return to our original home, we must let go of everything external with understanding, not by abandoning something or destroying this body, but by truly realizing that this body is as it is, existing to eventually dissolve. Live in this world with peace and happiness, helping one another, sharing this knowledge until everyone awakens to the clear, pure emptiness of life. This is what it means to return home. When this happens, we will see that the world is filled with tranquility and peace. Conversations will revolve around the essence of this pure life. When someone hears this teaching, even for a day or two, they may weep with amazement and gratitude, saying, "I am free now. I feel so at peace." And when we experience this ourselves, it may burst forth within us, bringing tears to our eyes. Those who awaken will naturally share and connect with others who understand. They will begin to marvel together at the greatness of this truth, its lightness, and its freedom. They will realize there is no self at all and wonder why they were ever lost in delusion. They will encourage others to listen and reflect on these truths. As this understanding spreads, more people will awaken to this pure essence of life, amazed to the point of tears. It is something vast and transcendent, beyond joy, beyond the ordinary experience of being human, beyond all things. It is another dimension filled entirely with purity. Yet, all of this is akin to a dream. When we awaken, we see that it was just a dream, an illusion. The voice speaking these words has no real self, no true owner. It is just a sound, arising to remind us that nothing belongs to us and nothing is truly us. These words, images, feelings, and awareness are merely phenomena that point toward the truth. We are the pure, empty essence of life, the origin of all things. The entire universe dwells within this clear, pure essence of life. It is like a drop of water taken from the ocean, placed in a vessel. One day, when we return to this purity, it will be as though this drop of water merges back into the ocean. When the body dissolves, this clear drop becomes one with the ocean again. We will no longer find ourselves, because we are the whole, we are everything. Do you see? One day, when we attain this pure essence, we will realize that we are the universe, we are everything. All things exist within the purity of this essence that is inherently ours. There is nothing that is truly us, there is no self at all. This voice is not us. Mental images, emotions, and awareness are not us. Even the words spoken here are not us. Even the feeling of a self is non-existent. There is only clarity, only purity, which is nothing in particular, just pure existence. Let this recording end here. May each of us awaken to this truth swiftly and immediately.